We don't really know just yet how much money is being spent on each Marvel Studios series. We can definitely tell there's a lot of money going into them. How much? It's probably going to be something we find out down the road. And when it comes to these projects and projects like it and spending money, one of the most costly things is special effects. So it's surprising to hear that WandaVision, for example, has more visual effects than Avengers Endgame. So when it comes to WandaVision, we see that there's a lot of effort put into this show. Sometimes you might not be able to tell, but there's a lot of CG in even the most basic scenes because they're trying to sell the authenticity of when the show takes place and what it's trying to mimic. So to me personally, it's not really surprising to see that the budget for this show, when we find out and what's been rumored to be the budget of each episode, is going to be pretty high. And all things considered, when we match it up to films in the MCU by the time the first season is done, it's going to be more comparable to some of the more expensive films. Now recently in an interview with Total Film, Paul Bettany said, and I quote, "Marvel has always taken a big swing, but we're really taking a big swing. There are more VFX shots in WandaVision than there were in Endgame. That's a big risk." Now again, I have no doubt that this is somewhat true because, again, visual effects can be something tiny, right? But overall, with how many you have throughout the entire series, it really wouldn't surprise me if this was the case, or if it was at least on par. And you gotta consider that once you put all the episodes of WandaVision together, it's going to have somewhere around the same runtime of Avengers Endgame. So again, it makes sense when you really compare it that way. And again, I think one thing people need to consider is the fact that, let's say, just making everything black and white, for example, is considered another effect because of the way they're doing it. CGing something minor, doing some minor alterations. Again, these are small little CG things that you have to go into and touch. So as technology evolves and as CG gets cheaper, they're able to pull off more effects on a cheaper budget. So something that you can pull off today, 10 years ago, would have cost double to almost triple the amount. For example, there was a visual effects magazine that I was reading, and they were talking about an effect from the first Transformers movie, and how that effect at the time, which lasted about 15 seconds, cost about $3 million for that one shot. But now in the most recent Bumblebee movie, almost recreating that same shot cost about 80% less. So just think about that for a second, right? So yeah, you can afford more effects and put more minor effects all throughout it and having it cost less. Now yeah, it's 2 years since we had the likes of Avengers Endgame. But again, they're using a lot of things that they learned in that and a lot of assets, I assume, to drop them into this, such as CG things for Vision and all that. So you gotta kind of compare what they're saying and understand it's not from the ground up, but they're also reusing things and, it's cheaper now.